Hey folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. It's early morning on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. I just had a super Saturday with the National Wrestling Alliance in Tampa. Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins is the owner of this promotion, which a lot of you may or may not know. If you're a wrestling fan, you probably do know that. If you're not a wrestling fan, well, you probably didn't. But yes, Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins is a longtime pro wrestling fan. And he bought himself the remnants of the National Wrestling Alliance. One of the, actually, it was the biggest promotion in the land from about the 1940s until the early to mid 1980s. And we won't discuss why it's no longer the biggest, but I'm glad that the remnants and the reboot and the revision is in Billy Corgan's hands. And tonight in Tampa, I would guess 450 to 500 people were there live. Fight TV had it on pay-per-view. I have many clips and highlights for you. If you're watching this on replay, my name is Mike Messier. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. You can see down here, MikeMessier.com has all my books for sale. I do write books. You can even go to Amazon and read free of charge the first 3 chapters of my pro wrestling trivia book. Let's take another clip of the hot action tonight. Let's take another clip here, folks.
Yeah, what she said.
Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. These are clips that I took on my good old phone tonight, front row. It was interesting to be in the front row. As you might see if you go to my YouTube channel, and as I upload more of these clips, you'll see that the cameraman, like the official cameraman, was a real pain in the ass. Just the guy was moving around a lot, you know, always seemed to be moving and blocking my perspective, other fans' perspective. So I guess I would think twice about getting a front row seat again for the NWA, just because their cameramen seem a little clueless about just stand in the corner and move the camera. Don't move your whole fucking body. But in any event, I was glad that I was in the front row for this one. I did notice late in the card that some seats opened up, meaning some people left early, or who knows what was going on. So I thought about moving back, but I'm like, you know what? I'm in the front row. I want to commit to it. And so we had a lot of exciting things here tonight. There was, in fact, one title change. Wasn't the title that I was expecting to change. In fact, I was kind of rooting for the defending champions, but it was an exciting match. It was for the NWA National Wrestling Alliance Women's Tag Team title. Let's take a look at this clip. It's very exciting. Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. You're welcome to comment. You're welcome to leave a comment if you like. This is my NWA Nuff Said pay-per-view report, live from the venue. What did I think? I had a really good time. I mean, like I said, my only annoyance was really this cameraman. I wasn't the only one. One guy who called him out in the audience was kind of like your stereotypical, big fat wrestling fan who's been watching forever. If you did watch this NWA pay-per-view, you might have seen him on camera. He was quite, big belly on this fellow and just very loud, booming voice. And obviously he wanted to be on camera, and obviously he wanted his funny lines to come across. You may have heard him during the main event when the referee was doing his announcements for the Cardona Tyrus match. This guy was quite loud. I think he even heckled the referee and got the referee a little bedazzled, a little confused. So that's what I had to tolerate. I did have a front row seat, and I had a front row corner seat on the right side of the aisle, of the row I was in, the front row. And for whatever reason, the seat to my exact left was empty. And then there was a female in the next seat, and then I guess her date or her friend, and then like another empty seat. So it was kind of interesting that in the front row there was like some comfort. They did say this show was sold out, and I do know that a friend of mine here in Florida this weekend wanted to go to the show and couldn't get in because the show was supposed to be sold out. But to be honest, it was an interesting mix because I did see some empty seats in there, but then I did see people literally standing, to watch. So who the hell knows? This venue was interesting. It was a nice little venue, the Shriners Center, whatever the hell. Hot dogs and chips, like you could get a Nathan's hot dog, like it's just a standardized hot dog, and a bag of Lay's potato chips for $5. I had 2 rounds of that myself. You could get a bottled water for $1. But then they had stuff like, fucking pork sandwiches or whatever the fuck for $12, and like a personal pizza for 10. So in any event, folks, if you happen to have comments, questions, queries, considerations, please leave them. If you don't. It's not going to rub my skin off my ass one way or the other. What else? If you want to see more clips, let's show you more clips. Let's see what else we got for you, fickle folks, fickle fans.
Good job, champ.
To rise to international prominence. You've been criticized and people have deemed you unworthy.
So let's talk about my favorite matches of the night. I think you just saw Camille there celebrating her title defense victory over Angelina Love. I'm a big Angelina Love and the Beautiful People fan. I'm a fan of hers. I'm a fan of Velvet Sky. Going back to the TNA wrestling days. So it's nice to see Angelina Love. She looked great. She has had a child, apparently, but that was a while ago. She really looked like she was in fighting shape. I thought she had the physicality to take it to Camille. I think they had the best match of the night, in my opinion. And I kind of think the women's tag team title match, might have been the second best match of the night, where we saw the Renegade Twins win the women's tag team title. Very exciting. They were out in the venue afterwards, actually accepting let's see if I can get this up here for you. They were actually, signing autographs with the fans. They were quite happy with themselves, and I guess they have a right to be because now they're the women's tag team champions. So the Renegade Twins are a good women's tag team. I saw them do some stuff for AEW Dark. I'm trying to get you that photo. I know you're very much wanting to see. Of course, I can't do what I want to do right now on this thing, and I don't even know if I'm still on this thing, which is upsetting to me. But such is the way of the world, I guess. Such is the way of the world. Such is the way of the world. Such is the way. So yeah, it was a fun show. If you're just joining me, let me show you the best clip of the night. This was definitely the most wild, fun match. Angelina Love against the champion community.
Come on, Camille, let's go!
Told you it didn't matter.
Come on, Camille! One time!
Okay, folks, it's me. It was a fun time. The NWA show was very fun. And that's what it's all about, you know, and it does have a kind of an old time wrestling feel. It does. I mean, when you think of the NWA, there's so many things you can think about. You can think about Jim Crockett Promotions in 86 to 87, 88, but that was really, or 85, that was really just one aspect of the NWA. I mean, you got to remember that world-class championship wrestling with the Von Erichs and the Freebirds, that was part of the NWA. St. Louis with, you know, Harley Race and Crusher Blackwell and Ken Patera for the Missouri State title. That was part of the NWA. Hey, what's up, Carl? Good to see you here, buddy. We will be doing a podcast together, I'm sure, soon. I am okay, buddy. I've had a bit of an interesting couple of days. I won't get into my sob stories, but I'm here in Clearwater, Florida, which I believe is the hometown of none other than Barry Windham. And I was hoping to see a NWA World Title change tonight, Carl. I was hoping that Matt Cardona, for whatever reason, I was kind of rooting for him to beat Tyrus. No offense to Tyrus, but I mean, I'm a big guy myself. You know, I'm not a sculpted individual like a Matt Cardona. However, I've got to think that Cardona puts the time into the gym. I'm not so sure if our buddy Tyrus does. I mean, he's a big, bulky man. I think Tyrus is actually 50 years old. But you know, I don't know. It's just Tyrus doesn't do much for me. The fact that he's on Fox News 5 times a week doesn't mean anything to me as far as wrestling goes. You know, I don't think that Fox News people are clicking over to the National Wrestling Alliance on Fight TV. Sorry. I mean, you know, you put your belt on who you want to be the face of the company. And one thing I disagree with Billy Corgan as I think Nick Aldis was really a great NWA champion. I'm sure Billy knows that too. For whatever reason, those guys couldn't keep it together, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth, right? But yeah, it was a good show. A lot of action. Women's tag team title change. I guess I can't remember if I've ever seen a women's tag team title change in person before. I've seen so many things happen in wrestling in front of my very eyes. I've seen world title changes. I was at a WWE show. I believe it was Survivor Series, maybe 2009. It was the one with Edge came out of nowhere to take Jeff Hardy's place and beat Triple H and that Kozlov guy for the title, and then Christian beat Jack Swagger for the ECW supposed world title, and then Chris Jericho beat John Cena for the whatever the fuck title, the heavyweight title, you know, that old SmackDown world title. So I've seen some pretty big stuff in pro wrestling. ECW tag team title change, Furnace and LaFon winning the belts. I was there for that on my birthday one year. But this is, I think this is the first time I've seen a women's tag team championship change hands. So it was very exciting and unique. Let's see if I have any more clips for you. This is a short.
World Heavyweight Champion, joined by the champion,
Good job, champ.
to rise to international prominence. You've been.
Yeah, we saw that one before. So let me see if I can. I'll show you this.
Do it again, do it again.
Okay, I'll give you some of my further thoughts. You know, it was nice. This venue was okay. It was good. They didn't have enough parking for everybody, so I kind of saw what was happening. People were having to park like on the street outside the venue, up the street, kind of make your own parking spot routine. That always gives me a bit of a anxiety, but luckily nothing happened to my vehicle, and from what I could tell, nobody else had any problems. So I guess it was a safe part of Tampa. And what else? You know, as I entered the venue, I was greeted by merch tables. The wrestlers were doing, you know, getting their picture money. There was Matt Cardona selling his wares. I came over. I wished him good luck. There was Ricky Morton, who commented nicely on my Brian Pillman T-shirt, and his son Kerry Morton. And I put over Ricky, and I told him about some memories I had of watching him wrestle. And Ricky Morton was a really nice guy, and his son was actually a really nice guy too. Kerry Morton, who I believe is their junior heavyweight champion. Total baby face, real baby face. And after the show, I met, I'm trying to remember the guy's NWA name, but he also goes by Brian Fury. He's a friend of mine, and we had a little bit of fun with that. And also that Russian lady wrestler who I'm a big fan of. I get to talk to her and put her over and tell her I'm a big fan of hers. So everything was fun. I told her I'm a big fan of hers, and then she's like, "Oh, do you want an autograph?" And that's like, okay, now you're going to try to charge me $10 for an autograph. So I just kind of shied out of that. I know how these wrestlers operate. So anyway, folks, it was a fun night. National Wrestling Alliance, a tip of the hat if I was wearing one. I was wearing one at the show. Look at that. My hair is doing all types of wonderful things these days. I'm trying to regrow it, and I'm kind of growing my hair long and going bald at the same time, which is kind of an interesting look. So I might have to get that Hulkamania headband or whatever the fuck. It's just not working well. For Christ's sake. All right, folks. So that's it. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel if you had fun with this goddamn video. Look for more stuff on my YouTube channel, more clips and so forth and so on. Have a good night.